And so that was the first book, '06, but there were many after that. And we have to say that Caruso was a very honorable man, because the New York Herald approached him and said, "Signor Caruso, why don't you send us one a month?" Hello, my name is Cavaliere Official, ALDO MANCUSI. I received that title some 16 years ago from Consul General Mistretta. I've been for my work in the Italian community. I've been very active in the Legions of Merit. I've been very active with the Italian community, which is one organization that I favor, is the Italian-American or American-Italian Cultural Roundtable, of which I've been a member for some 24 years. Get where we came from. My mother and father were both born in Italy, came to America. My father came in 1920, and my mother came in 1921. They met here, married, and had 6 children. Then my father had a huge collection of records, about 70 Caruso records, 300 in all, of classical opera music. And when he gave me his collection, he didn't give them up too easily, but when he finally gave them to me, I made a collection of my own, and Caruso's name just stuck with me, and I built a collection, a private collection of Enrico Caruso. Also became very, very friendly with another Caruso lover of music, which was Michael Siska. Michael Siska was very prominent in the Italian cultural music, especially opera. And so when we got together, it was always talk about Caruso. And Michael was at the time in his 80s, perhaps. And so we talked about Caruso all the time, and I went to his house, he came to my house, and he appreciated my collection. And so he said to me, "Aldo, I'm going to bring friends over." I says, "I don't care, go ahead." So he brought a lot of friends over. At first we only had 3 rooms, and then we took over the whole floor, which now houses the Enrico Caruso collection. And it's a huge collection. And Michael Siska said to me, "You know, if you open up as a museum, then I will give you my collection when I pass on." I says, "Michael, that's a very good offer." Michael Siska had everything from his father, his huge collection of caricatures. And when Michael passed on, he left me some 60 original caricatures for the museum. So we now have one of the largest collections of Enrico Caruso's caricatures. We welcome visitors from, especially students from schools, colleges, and we've also lectured in most of the colleges in the tri-state area. We've lectured many times, and we have done hundreds of lectures in the tri-state area on the life of Caruso. Enrico Caruso had a fantastic life, but a short one. Caruso was born 1873, February 25th. And Caruso, when he was born, his mother, Anna Baldine, had a voice. Not professional, but she was able to sing, and she wanted so much to have Caruso sing. And so she sent him off to church, where he sang in the choir. And this is really what started Caruso. He kept singing and enjoyed his singing, and very often said, "I may be hungry at times, but I am never unhappy as long as I'm singing." So you see, it was his love of music and his love of singing. Unfortunately, there was no money in the family, and he sang periodically at the waterfront in Naples, in the Santa Lucia area, and he sang there for just what money was thrown to him by tourists. And this is how he sustained himself. His father, Marcellino, says, "You know, you could sing all you want, but you must first work in the foundry. And he did. For some 10 years he worked in the foundry until he was drafted. But in that 10-year time, he never gave up the hope of singing. And he sang along the waterfront. He would come home from work. He was young. He was full of energy. He would come home, change his clothes, and go right to the waterfront where he would sing in these restaurants for the few pennies that they would throw him. Shortly after he started singing on the waterfront, a very distinguished young man who was wealthy heard him sing and said, "You have to go to school. You have a beautiful voice, but you're not trained properly." So he sent him to a Father Bronzetti. Guglielmo Bronzetti was a very famous teacher in Naples, and he instructed Caruso, and so he quickly rose from the ranks of a ordinary tenor to a greater tenor and a better tenor. And interestingly, Arturo Toscanini picked him when Verdi died, you know. Verdi died in 1901, and he picked Caruso to do one of the singers at the memorial concert for Giuseppe Verdi. We have the original program for that commemorative memorial concert. Interestingly enough, it was what Toscanini said in his book about Caruso. And his statement was, if this Neapolitan tenor continues to sing this way, he will be the greatest tenor in the world. And this was 1901. So you can imagine and Toscanini was one of the greatest conductors in the world ever since. I don't think there's ever been anybody better than Toscanini. So for him to make that statement about Caruso, it was really wonderful. In 1903, after a bitter 1902 discussion with the Metropolitan Opera House, because they never wanted to pay him enough to come, he finally got the okay in 1903. Came to New York and November 25th, 1903, he debuted in Rigoletto at the Met when Caruso got there. In fact, when Caruso sang, the place had standing room only. And when they did a German opera, it was only half filled. So it didn't take a financial genius to figure out what they should do. And they immediately went to many of the Italian operas that brought in thousands and thousands of people, and especially in the Italian community. It was Caruso that really made the Metropolitan Opera House. And for many years, for 17 years, he opened the Met. And so Caruso really was appreciated very much, not only for his operatic capabilities, but also for his warm heart, for his giving. He gave so much money away. All right, he was very wealthy. He made millions of dollars off his recording. You have to understand is that not only was he a great tenor, not only was he so perfect in his expression of Italian opera, but he also had a big heart, a warm heart, and a joking attitude, a very happy man. And so most books that you pick up today, there will be stories in there about his generosity and his good heart. He died August 2nd, 1921, and unfortunately, or I should say, fortunately for us, his legacy kept him alive all the years since. So we're very fortunate to have the Caruso Museum displaying so much of his memorabilia. He has done so much to keep the music alive of some of the greatest composers of all times. And so we got to give him credit for what he has done. And his 300 plus records are still sought after by millions of people. So it must mean something. The museum is here for 15 years. I've had complete control over it with the help of my board members, who I must give credit to because they keep me going and keep me informed about many things. To have the museum permanently located in New York, in a well-established museum where nothing will ever get stolen or sold, is my only wish in life. You know, the Italian community in New York here has had some of the hardest working Italians to further our culture. I am certainly one of them, but I am not by all means the only one. There were many people before me, and I'm sure that there are many people right now that are pumping for the Italian community and Italian culture, which is the richest culture, as far as I'm concerned, in the whole world. We have so much history, so much culture. So it will manifest itself here in New York, because this is where the largest community of Italians concentration, and good people of the past has pushed us to this moment now where we are doing other things, major things, and hopefully all this will lead to a permanent location for my beautiful collection, and the future for the Italian community definitely is well looked after by many people, and it will be in the future. I am sure that the work that we're doing today will be recognized in the future for what it means to New York. We have had visitors here from all over the world, every aspect, every personality, every walk of life, people who travel, who workers, ordinary workers, but people from all over the world. We've had people from Japan, we have people from Korea, we've had, actually they made a film in Korean and they sent me a copy, but who can understand that? But nevertheless, we have had people from Italy, from Germany especially, from England, we have people from Canada, I have had people from South America, from Venezuela. I mean, I can go on and on. I had people from Mexico who had stories to tell me, who I did research for, and I mentioned in his book about the research work. I've done research work for Puccini book. I've been in Caiazzo, where also for Mary Jane Matz, in the book that she wrote about Rosa Poncel. So all of these people who have been here are distinguished people, but they are so, for me, a joy to meet, because they all have one thing in common: Italian culture, Italian heritage. And so we are very fortunate to have so much to offer. We have nothing to be ashamed about. And we should be very proud of what we've accomplished. The museum has traveled some 12 times to Italy, and we have done exhibitions in Messina, Sicily. We have done exhibitions in Foggia, San Severo. We have done exhibitions in Naples, and we've done in Modena. So we have done many exhibitions in Italy with this collection, not the entire collection, but a portion of it. And we were always made friends in Italy. And we've done a beautiful exhibition in Sorrento, and that's the very place that Caruso loves. This is Italy. Italy is one unique museum. What else can I tell you?
Right, that's excellent.
Here I am spinning one disc on a 78. And we'll hear a little bit of this.
la mar, perché mi voglio con me, dormiendo cada lì, non ti scordare che t'ho aiutato come cada lì, non ti Cadalì, che vera dicerà, tu parla con la raspada me. E dove già piensa solo mia, e non c'è piensa che a rondare fuori.